ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching the BrenNewMedia show today. Today, I have a special guest here with me today. I have Vinodini Jayaraman, which is one of our prominent artists here in Memphis, Tennessee. She has done work everywhere. She's married to one of the prominent criminal, immigration, and diverse attorney here in Memphis, Tennessee, Attorney Jayaraman. Vinodini, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So tell me, how did you get started with art?
Well, that's a long story. I started painting at the age of 3. When I was a child, when I was very little, I had a very severe case of stutter and stammer. So I couldn't go to school like other children. And those days you didn't have speech therapy. So my mother, she was a lawyer and a mathematician. And she was ahead of her times. And she decided to give me paints. Because most children with stutter and stammer, their biggest problem is expression. You know, where they suffocate. There's a suffocation because of the lack of expression. So in my case, my mother gave me paints.
Okay.
So I painted. I painted whatever I felt I wanted to paint. And that was my real medium of expression.
Okay.
And over the years, I got better. By the time I was 10, 11, I started speaking like normal people. And I went back to school in 4th grade.
Okay.
And but painting became my main passion.
Okay.
And I believe that my work is like a pictorial diary.
Yes. Yes, I love your work. Beautiful. Beautiful work.
Thank you.
Yeah, your work is unusual. I mean, we're going to get into all of your beautiful artwork later on in the show. You also, Governor Don Sundquist also unveiled one of your paintings at the Peabody Hotel.
Yes.
And they also hung that art piece at the governor's mansion.
Yes,
Is that
that's right.
correct?
That's right.
In the early 90s?
In the early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it was titled The Elephant Walk.
Okay. Yeah, that was great. So let's get started with some of your artwork. Which one would you like to go with first? We want to talk about the mirror, the 100-foot mirror at the University of Memphis. And people, if they would like to go there to see the mirror, it's on campus there. What street is it on?
It's on Zach Curlin. It's in the garden below the track. It's a 100-foot mural celebrating tigers and other endangered animals, dedicated to Tom 3, the mascot, the live tiger mascot of University of Memphis.
And I love this. And it's also was in the magazine here in Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah.
The Fix magazine.
The Fix magazine.
And a couple of other magazines as well.
Yes. And you also was in the Reader's Digest.
Yeah, that was in 2002, and when I was published by the Reader's Digest, and later on they published it again in 2005.
In 2005.
2005.
With a lot of your beautiful artwork, and your artwork has been displayed at several art locations, like all over the world. Is that correct?
Well, many places.
Many places.
I've been very lucky. And over the years, I did illustrations for books as well. This is one for a law book. And this is my recent book. It is a textbook on, a medical book on excellence in modern health care.
Okay, so
as an artist, you know, you do your own work, plus you do illustrations.
Okay.
So I do freelance art. But whatever you do, you have to do it from your heart. And most important thing is passion. The passion you have for the art.
Well,
It has to come from your heart.
it has to come from your heart. I
Yeah.
know you have a great imagination. Let's see. Now let's talk about this one here. Explain this art piece here,
Oh, the silk piece.
the silk piece.
Well, I was a child, and as I told earlier, I didn't go to school for a long time. My grandaunt, my great-grandaunt actually, she was a teacher, and she loved literature. She loved nature. Everything was magical for her, and the world thrived. She thrived on imagination. She loved reading. So, like for instance, when the wind blew in the Malabar area where we lived, she would say that the wind was whispering songs, the wind was whispering stories. So she said each time the coconut leaves swayed in the wind, they were swinging and dancing to a new tune the wind brought. So I was a child, I was absolutely fascinated by my great-grandaunt, and I believed everything what she said. And she said that there was wonder all around you. So you just had to open your eyes, perk up your ears, and listen and watch. And stories would be told, music could be heard, So as an artist, I think that she was the best thing that happened to me.
Well, that's great. So, but this art piece, you was thinking about her, and this is what you got out of it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now let's talk about some of your other art work here.
Well,
which one
over
you
the-
like to start off with first?
this is one of my favorites.
Okay, that's
And
beautiful.
this is Panduranga Krishna. Krishna is someone I worship and adore. He is one of my heroes from Indian mythology. For me, he is very real. Krishna is supposed to be blue-black in color, like the blue-black clouds. And this painting describes Panduranga Krishna as he's seen in Pandharpur, standing on a brick. The story of Pandharpur has always inspired me. Over the years, icons, I've really enjoyed painting icons.
Show me another one. Let's. What's your other one that you want to talk about today? Because all
This
all
is
your
India
artwork-
2000.
Which one? This one
This
here.
one here is
Okay.
India 2000. So the new millennium was starting, and I wanted to come up with a painting, very symbolic of India. So you have Indian architecture, you have the Mughal architecture, you have the banyan tree. So in India, the banyan plays a very important role. It's under the banyan tree that people conduct their business. It is under the banyan tree that teachers teach students. So the banyan is supposed to represent wisdom, the wisdom of the ages. And then you have the tigers, and then the peacock, and of course the elephants.
Let me ask you a
And
question here. Why are you so fascinated with elephants and tigers?
tigers and elephants, because I come from Kerala. India today has about less than 2,300 tigers in the wild. It's a shame because a long time ago, in 1900, we had over 100,000 tigers in the wild all over Asia. And today the number in India, which has the largest number of tigers in the world, is less than 2,300. Reason? Poaching. Of course, during the earlier part of the last century, during the colonial times, there was a lot of hunting. But now, it's poaching for the skin. No control really over poaching. Again, in India, the forest cover has been constantly depleted over the years. So you have fragmentation of forests. India has 1.3 billion people. It's the second largest populated country in the world next to China. So you have a lot of people moving into the forests to live. So there's a pressure on land. And as the pressure on land increases,
forests get fragmented. And that affects the tigers and the elephants. We have about 27,000 elephants in the wild, about 27,000 elephants all over South Asia. But
So
the
you
tiger
want to
population has
keep
been
the
dwindling.
species alive.
Yeah,
Keep the
you
elephants
have
and
to.
tigers
You
alive.
have to. And it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of commitment. And I've been very lucky because I've traveled in many of these areas, tiger reserves. And so for me, this is a cause I'm very fond of and passionate about.
Great.
And my art is my statement
That's
towards this cause for conservation of wildlife, particularly tigers and elephants.
That's great. Let's talk about one more before we take a break.
These are 3 tigers at the Waterhole.
3 tigers at the
Waterhole.
Waterhole.
Now,
What made you come up with that idea? What imagination did you
well,
have?
there's a nice poem, Tiger, Tiger, Burning Bright. I forget the name of the poet now.
Okay.
But that poem, I was thinking of that poem when I painted this. Plus, I did the mural for the University of Memphis. That has a lot of tigers.
Yeah.
And I dedicated that mural. It's a 100-foot mural. It took me 22 days to do that mural.
I was going to ask you the time frame I'm doing that mural. It's about 22 days?
22 days.
Okay.
And I dedicated it to Tom 3, the live tiger mascot of the University of Memphis.
Nice.
I believe it was sometime in the early part of the last century, there was a basketball match. And the Memphis State students, they played an excellent game, and one of the people from the crowd shouted, "Go, Tiger, go."
Go, Tiger,
and that's
go.
how the tiger thing stuck, And ever since, we've been called the Tiger Team, right?
Yes.
And we have a live tiger. Tom 3 is a live tiger mascot, and I believe he lives somewhere in Collierville.
Yeah.
And he comes for all the important functions at the university when the president attends.
Yes, yes. Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dee.
His Excellency the Tiger.
He loves the tigers. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break right now, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Brand New Media Show. My guest here is Vinodini Jayaraman. She's a prominent artist here in Memphis, Tennessee. And we're going to continue. She was telling us about her artwork here, and she wanted to, did you want to go ahead and mention, I know she don't want to
Yes.
leave anybody names out, but I know she would like to mention her aunt's name on
Yeah.
this.
This is my aunt, my great-grand-aunt, Narayani. She was a teacher
She was a teacher
Yeah.
in India?
in India,
Okay,
and we called her Narayani.
okay.
And she would, every night during the summer, she would tell us stories from the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and somebody who still inspires me.
That's great. That's great. Hi to your aunt in India.
No, she's no more.
Oh, okay.
She died
I'm
many
sorry.
years ago.
I'm sorry, but great, great. I like that piece. Vinodini, this is my greatest here. This is one that I absolutely love. So explain this one to the people.
This one
I
is,
love this one.
This one is Brown versus Topeka Board of Education. So this was painted when they had the 50th anniversary. The 50th anniversary, 50th year celebration of the landmark judgment, Brown versus Topeka Board of Education. I was one of the 50 artists selected by the National Civil Rights Museum who had a show of art, an art show. And this was my painting, Brown versus Topeka Board of Education. Here you have students from different communities. You have African American students, Mexican students, Caucasian students, Asian students. So, but they together, thanks to Brown versus Topeka Board of Education, they are able to pursue education. You have the menorah, here the menorah represents education. You have the books, and you have 1,000 suns rising. When you turn towards education and learning, that's when 1,000 suns rise in your horizon.
1,000 suns rise
in your horizon. And
endless
possibilities where fish fly in the sky. See the fish? It flies in the sky.
The fish flies in the sky.
And the parrot sings its best. The birds sing their best. And the American flag shines brighter than it ever did.
I love this piece.
So this is my Brown versus Topeka Board of Education.
So what made you come up with this imaginative idea to come up with this very beautiful art piece?
I think I used a lot of imagery, and a lot of my my cultural, thinking. Like for instance, in Asia, for us, the lotus is very, very sacred. The lotus represents Saraswati. It represents education. And there is a Sanskrit poem which says that each time you make a step towards learning and knowledge, you reach out to knowledge, 1,000 suns rise in your horizon. So I guess I used all that imagery.
It's beautiful.
And I use a lot of black and white squares in my paintings because my kitchen floor has black and white.
So you thought about cooking, and you thought about being in that kitchen, right? As a matter of fact, you're a great cook too.
Thank you.
You're a great cook.
Thank you.
Also,
my cooking is very much like my painting.
You have passion.
I can never repeat. I can never repeat a recipe because I add my own.
You're so creative with your cooking. Is that right?
So each time I make something,
it's different.
It's unique.
But it still tastes good.
I can never repeat.
Now let's talk about this one over here.
Over here? Okay. This is the picture of Sai Baba of Shirdi.
Sai Baba?
Of Shirdi, a Sufi. He is a Sufi saint. A Sufi saint who has really inspired me, believing in the unity of all religions and kindness, love. I love the Sufi philosophy. I do a lot of icons, so this is one of my favorite pieces. And I think you meant this one, right?
I love this. I like that yellow. I like that yellow touch. I love that.
Thank you. This is called If. This is based on Rudyard Kipling's poem, If.
If.
So basically, it's when the world goes topsy-turvy, stay calm where you are. Be yourself.
Be yourself. Stay calm where you are.
And be yourself.
So what made you come up with what were you thinking about when you came up with this piece?
The world often goes through so much ups and downs and upheavals. You have, you have opinions and criticisms. But
exactly.
Despite all the opposites of life, just stay where you are.
Stay where you are.
Yeah. Don't ever let go of your calm, your poise, your equanimity. No matter what happens.
I love this.
Thanks.
It's beautiful. I like the color. I like all this yellow. I like all this yellow in your artwork.
Actually, I never plan on anything, but as I paint, I just pick up whatever color I feel like. It just
This is
comes from the
nice.
heart.
Comes from the heart. There you go. And now let's go over with this other one, Vinodini. This is beautiful.
You know, I love cooking. And the story of pepper, it's not a new one.
It's not a new one,
It was
okay.
painted sometime in the 90s.
Okay.
This represents the story of the spice trade. The story of pepper has always fascinated me. See, this is pepper. You see the pepper?
Okay.
Pepper wines.
Okay.
And pepper, India has been exporting pepper right from the days of the Phoenicians and the Greeks and the Romans. In fact, even during Solomon's times, they traded with India for pepper and for the silks.
Okay.
I was reading that Pliny the Elder, the Roman leader, Pliny the Elder used to complain that all of Rome's money would go to Kerala to buy pepper. And when Alaric the Goth invaded Rome, they wanted him out. And one of the things that he said he wanted was 3,000 pounds of pepper.
Okay.
So in order to leave Rome, in order to leave Italy. So pepper has always been a very important item in trade. And I come from the state called Kerala. We're on the southwestern tip of India.
Okay.
We have the hills on one side, and on the other we have the Arabian Sea. And we used to have a port called Muziris. These are the Jewish ladies settled in Muziris, saying their prayers and wishing the ships laden with spices as they set sail.
I love this.
On the Arabian Sea.
I love the eyes. Beautiful.
You know, incidentally, we've had Jewish people in Kerala for a very, very long time.
Okay.
In fact, the trade with that part of the world is as old as Solomon's time or even earlier.
Okay. This is beautiful.
This is called Muziris.
How long did it take you to do this piece here,
Well,
Vinodini?
normally,
Or
I
any of
normally
your
complete
artwork?
my paintings in a few days, 2 or 3 days. But once I get something into my head, then it's I can't sit still until I finish painting. So I work like a maniac then.
Yeah, so I know you told me earlier like what inspired you to be an artist. So what can you tell some of the younger people that's coming up that would like to be an artist? What encouraging words would you give them?
See, it's very important to paint what you believe, what comes from your heart. There must be an element of sincerity in what you do. You have to do it with passion. In many ways, an artist is like a poet. He is a part of all what he sees and is aware of what is happening around him. Whether it's a blade of grass, whether it's a cloud up in the sky, whether it's water flowing, you're a part of all that you see, and you make all that you see a part of you. So you care and you feel and you paint. I think it's very important for artists to paint what they believe. And
so just not painting, but paint what they believe.
Yeah, I think so. Because it's, you can't have anything artificial in your painting.
Okay.
It must be real. It must be you. And
all of this is you.
Yeah.
Everything that you have. We have some other pieces that we're going to showcase.
It's a part of your life. Things that reflect situations and events from your life.
Just like music, I guess, right? Is that just like music?
Exactly.
When a lot of the music is things that reflects their life.
Yes.
And the artist, it's just like that.
And I really hope that people decorate their homes with original paintings. You could do it for yourself. You can have your children's art on the wall. You can have your art on the wall. But please, have original art on your walls.
Original art
not posters and prints, original art.
Original art, because there's a meaning behind it.
Yes, it's very important.
So what do you think about like early child development with the arts in the school system?
The children are the best artists because children are innocent, and whatever they do it right from their heart. So the children are much better painters than adults. I think our children are excellent, and schools have a wonderful program for art, and they're happy when they do music, when they do art, when they go for sports. They just love it, and that makes them happy. And I guess that's all what childhood is all about, being happy.
Being happy. Yes, I'll agree with you. You know, I love art. Art just uplifts me. When I see an art piece, I can relate to that art piece. I can look at an art piece and I get like a good feeling. Like on some of your artwork here, especially that yellow with the sun. This one, I love that one. When I see that one, it's just like, it uplifts me, just like music.
That is so true because, you know, often we forget the fact that we're living on a planet. We forget that we are on a planet. All our lives we've been on a planet, and we end our lives on the planet too. We have never been away from this planet, and yet we seldom are aware of the earth. We don't even look at the sun, the stars, the moon. But, you know, when you start becoming aware of all these wonderful things around you, it makes life so rich, so full of ambience, so full of light. You know,
Yes,
for me,
April-
I gaze at the sun every day.
You gaze the sun every day.
Yeah.
April the 22nd, we celebrate Earth
Yes,
Day
Earth,
here. Is that
Earth Day, yes.
Yes, yes.
Earth Day. A very important day because, you know, what are we doing to our planet? This planet is not only meant for us Homo sapiens, but also meant for all the other creatures, plants and creatures of this earth. We cannot destroy planet Earth.
Yes.
We have to revere it. We have to worship it. We have to really, really respect it because this has to be handed over from generation to generation, right?
Right,
We don't have any other home.
exactly.
Can't fly to the Mars.
Exactly. Vinodini, explain this one to me. I love the colors. What's the story behind this one?
This painting is titled The Activists. The painting is dedicated to Arundhati Roy and all the women activists in the world. I believe that women, when they take up anything, they do it so fiercely, so passionately. And I'm amazed by the strength of our women activists. So this is my painting.
I love this.
I have the chessboard, of course. I have the snakes and ladders.
So let's talk about your ideas. What were you thinking when you
Okay.
created this piece?
So the woman activist is fierce like an elephant, strong like an elephant, fierce like the tiger. And her life is not easy because it's a life of snakes and ladders going up and down. You know?
Beautiful. The snake
So,
eyes.
Yeah.
The
But
snake eyes.
despite whatever opposition they face, they do have the courage and the good heart to follow their course. So you have the hearts here.
Vinodini, also, before we end the show, I also want to mention that your husband is a prominent, Jayaraman. He's a prominent criminal divorce immigration attorney here in Memphis, Tennessee. And your sons, your two sons, they're attorneys also.
Yeah, my older son Sanjeev and his wife Kelsey, they're both lawyers.
Okay.
And my youngest son just graduated from law school.
That's great. Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. God has been so kind.
Attorney
All
full of
God's
families.
grace.
Your families are full of lawyers in the family. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you,
very
Brenda.
much.
Thank you so
so much.